Hi everyone, it's Michael from Yenna. I thought I'd just have a little update on something that's taking place in Australia right now, ongoing battle in the culture wars. Corey Bernardi released a hashtag AC100 in which he listed 100 Australian songs on Spotify and asked, I don't know if it was the general public or just Conservative Party members to go on there and nominate their favourite 3 songs, and so then we could have a hottest 100 like Triple J used to do, except this time it can be back on Australia Day. And the Blue Tick Brigade on Twitter, had a big problem with it, and took the piss out of it and made false entries into his database, and they were all sort of abusive things like punch in the face by Frenzel Rom, and other things with swear words in it in an attempt to offend him and make some sort of political statement. But bigger than just the carry on of people on Twitter was that the musicians themselves had a problem with it and said, we don't want anyone of conservative political persuasion to listen to our music. And then there was a greater philosophical discussion about whether or not that's hypocritical or not, given that they make money off everyone listening to the radio or on Spotify, and can musicians ever pick and choose? And the only way that you can make money off anything, labour or development or anything like that, is to give up some amount of rights to access to it. Otherwise, if it's exclusively yours for the rest of your life, you can never make money of it. But we do disallow people under the age of 18 into clubs, for example, or you have to pay for a particular ticket before you can go into like a Venture World or something like that. And then beyond that, again, Corey Bernardi himself had said that over the gay marriage debate, that a business has the right to refuse entry of anyone, anywhere, for whatever reasons, I suppose because of the whole baking a cake for a gay wedding sort of thing. So one of the most interesting thing I think that came out of it was that Spotify cancelled the playlist because they thought, well, this is all allegedly, I don't know that they did it, but they cancelled the playlist because they thought it was offensive. So someone made a playlist of 100 songs. It had like Slim Dusty on there and Red Gum and things, and that's offensive. And look, Spotify's a private corporation or public corporation. It's a company anyway, and they can pick and choose what song lists or playlists can get cancelled because they made some decision that it's offensive. And then the really interesting thing is that this is considered unoffensive. This is Cold Chisel's You're 13, You're Beautiful, and You're Mine EP. And the original EP had a picture of a naked young lady on the front, and there's a backstory to it about Jerry Lee Lewis or something like that, but ostensibly You're 13, You're Beautiful, and You're Mine it's a little unsettling, and there's questions of morality around it. That still exists up on Spotify. It's just an old EP with 5 live songs on it, I think. But a user list can be taken down. I don't know where morality lies in this. I don't know where we're headed with this. This seems less about a reasoned thought process around what's right and wrong, and more to do with yay the left and boo the right, or boo conservatives. Allegedly, the right or conservatives makes up half the population of Australia, America, England, but they're not allowed to go on certain websites. I don't know how Spotify is going to make any money if it pisses off half the population of the West, or of the world at least. But it just seems to be like a virtue signaling again on a very high level. I don't know where we're going to go with this. The whole thing that's going to come out of this is that Corey Bernardi is going to get much more publicity, and the fringy right aspects are going to grow as people feel as though their voice isn't allowed to be heard, and they're going to end up finding brotherhood or sisterhood in some deep, dark, yucky place that's out of the spotlight and that's fairly unhealthy. I think he should be able to have whatever playlist he wants. I think he should be able to put whatever songs on there he wants, and I can't believe it made the front page of the paper. It seems such a non-issue. But anyway, that's just my comments on the latest little shot in the culture wars. I'm just going to throw out there at the end that I'm saddened to hear that Dolores from Cranberries died. Speaking of music, I love the Cranberries. They were really, really good. Linger was that first song, of course, but all those other really cool songs that I bought their best of album. They were on that Pret-a-Porter album. Loved Ridiculous Thoughts, which brings me to a point. They were very influential. I think that they were the first people that had a cultural reference to Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is massive now, as everyone knows. But let's look back at the late 90s and see if we can find a very early reference to Game of Thrones. Here we go. You tell me she's not saying Hodor, Hodor, Hodor there. Hang on a second, let's just go to the original. Let's just see, double check this. Yeah, sounds pretty similar to me. So that song came out in the year, I think, that the first book came out, which I'm sure Hodor was in the first book, so I don't know, it's a long shot. Anyway, RIP Dolores, and thanks for all the music. Please subscribe to this channel and leave a comment, and at the very least click on this link and watch Ridiculous Thoughts, because it's a really great song. See you guys.